diary listeners. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the second part of our diary entry with Jess and Kevin Farrand of Mesmer Tattoo in Rochester, New York. We're calling this second part and the conclusion of this diary entry the reward. I don't know if you kind of felt that from last week, but yes, this is the reward. Enjoy. Welcome to the Apprenticeship Diaries, where raw meets refined.
Let's be real, we're still working on refining.
What it took, what it takes, and the stories that are made.
Join us as we learn from professionals about how their stories began.
Everybody's different, for sure. And I think like a big part of it too is like even with Cameron, he's been tattooing for over 2 years now. If he wanted to go work somewhere else or go do his own thing or whatever, we would fully support him because that's what he would really want to do, you know? So like anytime you're like going to be working with somebody or taking somebody under your wing or anything, I think the best thing you can do is just show them the way the best that you can and like endlessly support them and like instill that desire and like motivation for them to continuously grow, and they're going to respect you and you're going to respect them as an individual and just want the best for each other. And it takes a lot of work to like make that happen in any kind of relationship, you know?
I can see, like, I can empathize with you about your apprentice and like it being hard, and like apprenticeships are, and tattooing is so deep on so many levels, and I don't think a lot of people really take that into consideration. Sometimes they're just excited at the beginning, and most people have no idea how deep this journey is gonna take them.
They don't know what you're giving. I feel like you know,
but once you're in it, you have to work through those things. So
it's hard to maintain boundaries, right? Like I kind of hate boundaries. I know that they're essential to loving, you know, but I kind of hate them because I just don't understand why, you know, like we can't just like come together and do cool shit all the time and like you know, that's the focus only. But you know, it's one of those things where, you know, sometimes you don't fill that gap for somebody else, and you do have to lovingly just say, okay, well, I understand. That's we can't work then. This was our season, and
exactly.
This was our chapter. This is all. I put it all on the table for you. You know.
Yeah, and I do think we both love each other very much. You know, like even still, we, you know, you couldn't. I don't think it could happen if there wasn't that. And definitely the respect for the art, like beyond anything. I'm just so happy that somebody gets to make for a living and find themselves and work through all of that through tattooing. And it's a great space to like grow as just a person. Because the level of people that you are exposed to and just the work itself, it's just so growth provoking.
Definitely.
It's amazing. I totally agree with you on that for sure.
Some people are just meant to walk different paths in life, you know?
Absolutely. It sounds like you guys got such a great thing. I really, really do want to come visit at some point.
We would love that.
We would love to have you anytime.
Your energy is super dope, and I've heard good things about Rochester. I think it's a fun spot from what I've understood. I
mean, it's fun. There's some like scary parts of Rochester, but it's a cool area.
I live near Baltimore.
We live in a really cool area.
She lives by Baltimore. Similar vibe sometimes.
But there's cool stuff around here for sure.
Great food, tons of art of all kinds. There's lots to do. They're really amazing people too. We would love to have you here anytime you want to come guest spot or teach a seminar
or come to next year's convention.
I definitely want to do that. I want to I gotta sit down with my next year for sure and map that out, because I do want a lot more travel. I'm excited about it, but it's also intimidating because I haven't done it for a while.
We love traveling. We actually were talking today, like, all right, this month we're gonna go here, this month we're gonna go here, we gotta line up a guest spot, do this convention.
We're getting all hyped about it, but we didn't travel during like COVID, right?
You guys have a good unit too. Like it showed in just the what you came back from Paradise with, like, you know, what you put out on your socials. It was clear that everybody has fun while they're doing it, and like it's, you know, you get these cool little video clips, and that there's a great energy because you kind of roll as a team, and it's really cool. I enjoy that a lot.
I like the family vibe, you know, like we're a family. We will support one another like through and through, and we'll always be there to like support, uplift each other, help each other grow,
and provide a good atmosphere for our clients too. Like we want them to have a good time and like have a blast at these conventions and stuff. Like that's what it's all about. So
I love connecting with people. So
I agreed. And just, you know, that's what makes it really awesome, right? Like you get to, you know, I don't know, it just keeps the energy high.
Yeah, like, it does. I used to be so shy. Tattooing made me come out of my shell. So
totally. Why Mesmer, and what was the kind of the birthing of that child, honestly, between you guys?
It's a mix of things, but
we had a different name at first.
We had a different name that I won't mention, but another shop in
another state,
Las Vegas or something, had this almost the same name
off by a couple letters.
Off by a letter. And they were like, it was weird. Like we followed each other on Instagram, we had networked together, and we were, from, you know, my standpoint, we were pretty cool. And they were like, yeah, you're going to need to change that name, otherwise lawyers are getting involved. And I was like,
they sent like a cease and desist, and I was like, no worries, we will just pick a different name. It's like, totally fine. So like, we picked Mesmer.
Out of making things easy and not confusing for anybody involved, we were like, all right, we're going to choose a new name. Mesmer is like, you know, short for mesmerize or mesmeration. It's like basically when you see awe and beauty in things, and you can't put your finger on why, you just see it, and we all have this feeling of that. And that's
like decorating your body. It's like it can be mesmerizing to others, and then like the tattoo process itself is mesmerizing in its own way, you know, for people in different ways. And there's just so many ways that word ties into tattooing and art, and it just felt like it fit.
For sure.
That's great. I love that word in itself, just because it's brief and to the point, not like my private studio. The whole phrase.
But it fits you though, you know?
Yeah, I know.
We got lucky with Mesmer.
And I love like the meaning and like intention and stuff that you have behind the name of your studio. It's along with like your logo and stuff that goes with it. Like I think that's wonderful.
It seems to be really well thought out, and like, I don't know, honestly, just you, like it's amazing. I like it. I think it's cool. I loved also your artwork and your logo and stuff is super rad. So
thank you. I'm not as great at those things. That was kind of flexing new muscles for me.
It's hard. Nobody talks about all those little things that go into like making your business happen, you know, like you're not just an artist or just a tattoo artist. You are doing all of the behind the scenes work. You're coming up with a business name, doing the book work, like all of it. You learn along the way.
Now did you guys is there a specific like because like for Nick, for example, they kind of do this is kind of technical with the order of the shop and the business, but they do independent contractors, booth rentals. Kind of keep it as like, you know, this very co-op collective kind of vibe. Is that something that you guys liked and wanted?
That's exactly what we do. We've worked in shops where like we've done percentage and we've done a booth rental. We love the booth rental the most, and the person we were renting our booth from, they were like, I don't want you to see me as like your boss that's controlling everything, you know, like I would ideally love for you to like come in on these days and be working a certain amount of time, but also like I'm not booking your appointments, I'm not setting a strict schedule, I just want you to show up, do good work, and pay your booth rental. And I feel like it made a much more like relaxed vibe and made people want to come to work too. And so that's what we have at our studio, is a booth rental, and it just works great, honestly.
I think we even offer we even offered our artist Lindsay, like, because I think she was doing a percentage at the time.
Yeah, she was doing a percentage and had never done a booth rental before. So she was like kind of nervous at first, but then she was like, oh no, this is amazing. I'm definitely like doing this,
Yeah. So booth rental is what we do. It seems to work great for us.
Yeah.
We just gotta be, honest with everybody about like what's to be expected from us and for them. And it seems to work out great,
Yeah. Well, I kind of like the idea of that just because I don't know. It's kind of a freedom thing for me. And, like everybody kind of is standing for themselves within the business. So I feel like it keeps accountability high and I don't know.
Absolutely. Yeah. And like if somebody's not like showing up in the way that like you've previously discussed, like you have a little talk about it, and make sure things are picking back up or see if people like need help in some way. And it works out really great. Having just the open communication in general helps out with all of it.
Yeah, for sure.
But I love it. Yeah.
I think it's great. I think like you guys both mentioned that, it takes the pressure off of the artist because we all, like a lot of us have ADD really bad and, being artists, like it's a common thing I've noticed amongst all of us, like ADD, ADHD, like, letting the artist come in and do their work the best way they can. As long as you're being respectful of everybody's, boundaries and respectful for your clients and you're providing a service, you're showing up on time and being prepared, like that's the main thing we care about. And as long as you're doing those things, the little details, I'm not trying to control any of that stuff. Like come in and let's make art, like that's what I would like. So,
I mean, I've experienced both obviously within tattooing, but my dad's salon, they did paid apprenticeships, which was interesting, but it was a contractual. This is a weird thing that I like to throw out, but their apprenticeships vastly different. He would pay you minimum wage, you'd sign a contract that would basically say that you would work through the hours necessary and report to the board because it's a regulated thing here, which in Maryland, it's not regulated for tattooing, which is an interesting thing. A lot of states, that's vastly different.
Our county has no regulations at all.
That's what I've heard about Rochester.
Yeah.
And it's weird for New York because, of course, most people think New York City. New York City is like really regulated. And tattooing wasn't even allowed for a long time. So like I think Justin Bieber like got fined or something for like tattooing or getting tattooed in a hotel room or some shit. It was dumb.
Wow.
But it was like in New York City, if I recall. So I was like, well, that makes sense. Go after Bieber any way they can. Poor kid.
Put down the machines. Hands up.
I'm telling you, it was I mean, no, they knew he had money. They were just like, you can't be doing that, man. But they did a paid apprenticeship, and then it was basically after you get your license, you owe the salon 3 years of service, and then after that you can go anywhere. So that's how you paid back pretty much, like the knowledge and everything was to formulate a clientele, work for the salon for a certain amount of time. That way, you kind of supplemented the workforce. Now, if you quit before that, you owed, basically they created a pro rate of what was known as hair education. So a hair education was like 15 grand. So they would prorate the learning as you go. So if you gave up, during the apprenticeship, you'd owe a prorated amount as to how much education you got. Or if you completed it entirely, you owed like the whole 15 grand and just left. So that was kind of how they did it. And they were a by the hour, like, it was like a business, but it was more about like a company culture kind of thing. But it was really, really hard to watch because, basically doing it the way you guys are, it makes everybody have to figure things out for themselves, get their own accountants, like really be responsible for their own books. When you have somebody else doing that for you, even if you're doing it really well, as I knew my parents were, people get really upset at you and think that you're taking things from them, or that you're doing something that's untoward, or that they're not, like they're not getting something from it that they could.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
And a lot of the people that left my parents' salon, a couple of them opened their own shops, but once they did, they realized, oh shit, this is fucking awful.
Yeah. Yeah, straight
Right?
up. Oh my God, yeah.
Wow.
They got to figure it all out. Yeah.
It's like I had to
maybe I
own my
didn't
own business.
realize all of
Yeah.
the hits these people were taking for me that I
Right.
didn't have to worry about.
Right. You
Right.
just got to show up to work and go home.
And they're
Yep.
like, oh man, they're so controlling me. Like they're just controlling everything I do. But like, yeah, that's
Yep.
the hard
It
part.
depends on what you want in life, you
Yeah.
know, like, do you want to like pave your own path completely, or do you want to have somebody to kind of like hold your hand along the way and teach you everything so you're more prepared later on down the road, you know?
Right.
For us, like doing the booth rental, I'm like, you guys should be doing these things, like to
Yeah.
set yourself up for success. And so you don't like mess up along the way, you know, with like taxes and stuff like that. Like these are the things you should be doing, what we've
Yeah.
learned. And
Yeah.
we're passing it on to you, you know?
No, and
Right.
it's really good that way. And people get to feel it for themselves. I'd rather, owe money for taxes and things like that and kind of get pissed off along the way, being like, this is bullshit, than get this weird oh, I got all this money back by the end of the year. And it's like, no, asshole, that's your money. Like they've been holding it.
Yeah. So
Right?
like
Yeah.
that's your money. So like
Yeah.
the government is holding on to it. You're not earning any interest on that money. So instead you could have kept that money and put it into some kind of savings account, a high yield savings account, open like a Roth IRA, anything.
Yep.
And you could have made that money work for you. But yeah, that's like
Mhm.
one of those things where like when you are self-employed, you have that freedom to
Yes.
choose what you do with your money, you know? I'm very
Absolutely.
like passionate about that kind of stuff.
No,
Yeah. It's been a big learning
good.
curve though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is. I was just, like I said, I was on with Nick and he did an interview, and I'm so happy this podcast exists. I didn't realize that Ryan Moy is his name, I guess.
Ryan Roy, yeah. He shares a lot of great stuff.
But yeah, the Artful Dollar, and that he's having more of the money conversation attached to art. And I think that's really, really important. And I'm going to be listening more and more to his podcast. I'm pretty good about those things. I can't get out of my own way a lot of the times. I know the things, but I don't enact a lot of them. I'll be honest.
That's the hardest part.
Yeah, for sure.
It is a lot of it is, but you're right. It's one of those things that I feel like if I'm an independent contractor and I'm held accountable, I am incentivized to do those things and act. And if I give that control to somebody else, I get far lazier. And if you give me an excuse to get lazy, I will. So I just know that about myself. So I like that about it, at least what it does for me. And like you said, Kevin, the ADD is real. If, if you give me like a heat behind something I have to do, I will do it. It's just that I gotta have that. So I think that's really great that you guys do that. For real.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that both of them have their, their places too. Like being honest, like the way your parents did things. I've worked for other artists like that. Like I've worked in street shops that were, high paced street shops and that had that kind of, percentage, way of doing things. And then like my apprenticeship wasn't a contract like that, but it was an agreed upon amount of time I was to spend in the shop. And, basically I lived there practically like a lot of people do. I was there opening the shop, cleaning it, helping booking people. I was drawing tattoo designs for people all day long. And then I was there late cleaning tubes and scrubbing, cleaning the shop and doing that whole thing. And that was my agreement, was like I was to be there to learn everything and to take care of the shop and make sure that we were all, I was doing my job, and that was it. It was time. It was like a time agreement, I didn't have to pay for mine, but I know a lot of people who have had to pay for their apprenticeship plus some type of contract. And some of those people really enjoyed the way it was set up because it was.
It depends on who the mentor is.
Yeah, that's true. It's honesty up front, and it was like clear communication. And then some people were not great at communicating, like the owners. And
well, as the mentor, you have to follow through with your end too. And some people have a hard time with that. And so, it's got to be on both ends for sure.
Yeah. I just love this, guys. I mean, you really You're really awesome. It's wonderful to behold. It's great to have met you and like and to put this out there is something. I mean, the fact that you guys were at a shop called Have Hope
Yeah.
and kind of spawned this really cool energy and all these really awesome happenings. I think it's a wonderful thing to put out there for people to know that it's possible. I mean, it certainly has helped me. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what's next in my life. I don't even know.
Awesome. Well, yeah, real quick
knows?
plug. Thank you to Zach at Have Hope for having us and creating a great environment for us to learn in, because he's awesome and their whole studio is amazing. And I think that message is huge. Like, across the board, I think we were, meant to be there at that time. And that was part of our journey. It was meant to happen that way. Even though everybody told us, don't do this, like, don't, you're going to fall on your face, whatever. And we were just like, no, like, if anybody can do it, we can make it happen. But yeah, just wanted to throw that little.
Well, yeah. And have you circled back to Jake and been like, haha, like,
Yeah,
we haven't told him. No, I feel like I'm nervous.
I met him and I was like, dude, I've been following your podcast. Like we met him at Paradise.
Yeah.
And I was like,
don't even think I talked about Paradise. No? I was like so nervous.
Like stage fright, like total.
Like these people are like big name people.
Yeah, it's more like for me, like I did the same thing with Nick. Like I went up and tried to say hi to Nick and be like, dude, like tried to tell him he was an important like inspiration in my life for tattooing, especially with biomech and that whole style and his everything he's done. Like I've taken some of his webinars and stuff, and I tried to explain to him like, and it just came out word vomit, and I probably came off as like a little nerd dweeb who was just fanboying, but.
Right. And we're all just people.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Yeah. I'm sure he laughed later on about it. But,
Nick's very honest about his social anxiety. He really
I like that about him.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? I don't people easy. He probably felt that way towards you, but I'm sure it meant the world to him.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, that makes me feel better, if anything. But same thing with Jake, though. I told him about, like, I've been following his podcast since it's like when it started, I think, because he used to have like a co-host on there, and the videos were, not as great and stuff, but like the content was amazing. And I told him, I'm like, dude, I've been following you since then. Here's my apprentice and my other apprentice and our future apprentice. Like it's been 12, 13 years tattooing. Just want to say thank you for everything you've done. And he's amazing. And we didn't even get into like the full like stories of anything, but
I think
he's awesome.
Great on Fireside, like just kind of figuring out why. I mean, I'm sure he gave you a little bit of why he said that was a bad idea, but like, maybe a deeper dive into his reservations would be kind of cool,
Sure.
And maybe it's changed since then too, because it was quite a while ago.
Yeah.
So
certainly you guys could make that change, because I mean you're kind of living proof that it worked out.
Right. Right. Not that it'll work for everybody, but I mean it's possible, I guess, is the key. Yeah.
I do think it's offhand a good idea to say no right away. Just be like, no.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when people go, does it hurt? And I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah.
How much does it hurt? Well, imagine how much you've been hurt. And they're like, what? And I'm like,
right.
If it isn't that bad, then you should.
Yeah.
Straight up.
That's
but I'm going to prepare you for fucked up.
Yeah, right.
Not as fucked up, then yay.
That's funny. Every time I'm like tattooing somebody's elbow, they're like, how bad does it hurt? I'm like, well, I blacked out and puked when I had my elbow tattoo. I'm like, but you'll be fine. You're much stronger than me.
This is Jess's favorite story.
I'm from it fucking sucks. It hurts so bad.
The best part about this thing is I was the one who tattooed Jess's elbow and made her black out and puke. It's her favorite story to tell people. I'm like, wait. There's a lot more to this story. Like, Jess, oh my God, it was funny.
Did you tell him about the night before, babe?
Yeah, right? Like, you were drinking? No. I did.
It was a rough test.
It was a rough one. I used a massive liner on Jess's elbow and did this big colorful peony flower on her elbow, and she did great the whole tattoo. I think she sat for like 3.5, 4 hours or something, and we got it done, and she didn't black out and puke until the very end when I was like just dabbing, wiping her down, and
that's
cleaning
when it
up.
happens.
Yeah. Well, I was just like, oh, I don't really feel so good. And I put my head down. And then next thing I know, my eyes are open and there's a garbage under me and I'm puking into the garbage.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
You knew, Kevin. You were like, it's going to happen.
Oh, I saw on her face. I can read the signs. I saw her face going like, olive, like all the blood flow's gone in her face and she was looking sweaty. And yeah, I knew that she was going to puke for sure. So I was like, all right, gloves off. Here we go.
I had a similar situation. She didn't puke, but she was adamant. She was like, oh my God, that's 11 out of 10. Do not recommend. She was like, why the fuck did I want a full freaking sunflower on my elbow?
Right?
Of course it's yellow. Right. And she's like, well, shit, we got to go back into this now. Damn it. And
yep.
I gotta let you.
Not a fun spot.
No.
That is a spicy spot.
Yeah.
I love it when clients are letting you know how much pain they're in. Like it's
I'm like, well, you chose to be here.
I mean, honestly, going back to like what your original determination was, if I were to get my elbows done, I mean, my karma's bad. I probably should just get a full blackout for what kind of pain I've given people. I mean, really, I'm owed.
Sure.
But I'd have to imagine I'd want like a dot work tattoo of some kind.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
like,
a gentle dot by dot tattoo. Yeah.
So much easier to sit through.
Yeah,
something that radiates out from just point.
I tattoo a lot of armpits, and I do a lot of just 100% dot work mandalas in the armpits. It's great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I would want.
I got a bad elbow too. Like I got that little weenus part too. Just make it like
the stretchy skin and then like a little knob on the side of it.
There.
I don't know. It's a good
just
question.
Like, put something. I don't know. Do it. Background. I don't know. Yeah, I probably deserve just full blackout something.
Ouch. Sounds terrible.
It sounds rough, but yeah.
Bad karma, dude. So the things I've done to people. I haven't done it yet. I'm really a very low, not very tattoo artist, I have to say.
But you have like your whole chest and neck
done, don't you?
That's the most that people see. That's what make people think that I'm like super
heavily.
Okay.
That fooled me. You had me fooled.
Yeah, most of my clients think that they're beating me, man. Like they've got like legs and shit. I'm like a cobbler's kid walking around barefoot. I don't make time to do it, and I need
time. That's the other part. Yeah,
I make time. Yeah. I'm pretty covered. I only have like my back left pretty much and my chest, but yeah.
Well, and it's the story of your apprenticeships and your apprentices, because a lot of them got tattooed by you guys consecutively. So I think if there's something to say, if anybody wanted to work with you guys, come get tattooed a lot by you. And
absolutely, that's like the number one thing I tell people when they want to like get an apprenticeship. I'm like, get tattooed. Get tattooed.
You have to know,
observe, ask questions.
You got to go see what it's all about. Like you got to experience it firsthand. Like you need to be getting tattooed and watching it happen. And there's no better way to do that. Like before you're an apprentice,
and build connections while you're getting tattooed too.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
It's intimidating, but it's cool.
No, it is. And you learn so much about a lot of different things, like just body placement and stuff. Like, I roll in like a bitch with like when I'm getting tattooed. I got like my snacks and like an extra pillow and like and that's how I treat my clients too. Like people hate it when I go on guest spots because they're like, Amy, you're making us look bad. And I'm like, dude, this is how I need to be tattooed. Like I need like all the cushion, I need like blankets and I wanted to throw in just real quick, sorry to interrupt everyone, a new shout out to Reinventing the Tattoo. Recently, I just started up my Monday exercises with Reinventing again. And let me tell you, even just in a couple weeks that I've been doing this, I have felt new passion for doing what I do, kind of examining different ways to go about my process. It's already reinventing everything. If you would like to, and I do suggest that you do, check out Reinventing the Tattoo. If there's stagnancy in how you're working, if you're just looking for that next level thing, if you want to gift your studio something to rev up and bring everybody together, I highly, highly recommend Reinventing the Tattoo. There's several different ways that you can go about signing up with them, different accesses to their information. But regardless, if you check out the show notes of this podcast, scroll down within that, you'll find a link labeled TAD 10. If you click on that link, it'll direct you to a 10% off discount on any of the Reinventing Tattoo services that you might be interested in. It's a great deal already. It is phenomenal just as it is, but to get a little extra off of the top, again, have new vision and heat behind what you do. I can tell you I've been doing this for over 15 years now, and it's pushing me. So go, check it out. Thank you, and back to our podcast.
Yeah, you're going through a big change. Like, I need to just be Zen mode. I need some pillows.
I love when clients bring in their huge tote bag with like their lunchbox and a blanket and like extra sweatpants. Sometimes they have like fuzzy socks or gloves to put on.
Yeah, it's great.
I love it. I'm like, dude, we came to play today. This is
awesome.
Yeah, let's
you're
go.
ready.
Like, it's so much better than like, oh, I just did an all-night shift and I'm probably gonna fall asleep. And I'm like, oh God. Let's see how this is gonna go.
Yeah.
Did you eat?
Right?
Did you at least eat?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Do I need to feed you? Like, I have
Like,
food.
Right. We're the same way. For sure.
That's like on our intake form, like the consent form is like, did you eat, or when was the last time you ate? And if people didn't eat, I literally make them eat before I tattoo them.
Yeah. You have to. To.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I mean, I feel like this has been great. We have a solid episode here. Yeah. What if people want to, well, first of all, I want to ask this question, and I'll ask, I guess, our wrap up. What are your major like influences and inspirations right now, like people that you are, or things that you're looking to do with your art and whatnot, either of you? I just wanted to break this up because it sounds like I'm ending the podcast, but it does not end here, folks. We still got another half hour of listening, as you'll see on the time clock. So pardon me for thinking that we were done. At this point, there's so much more. The rewards keep coming.
You can go first.
Okay. I'll go first. So major inspirations as far as like the style I work in 3 styles, so biomech and organic, bioorganic work. So all of that is really, the stuff I'm looking at for that is now mostly things from nature, and that's usually what it's been from. Is I used to take my own reference photography for stuff like that.
So many pictures of trees.
There's so many pictures of tree roots, and living in Hawaii was an amazing place to do that. There was incredible reference from nature everywhere. So that's part of it. There's that part. As well as the other styles I work in are like kind of a take on Japanese inspired tattoos. So that stuff, inspiration from that is like, there's a huge list of people I could mention off right now, but really buying books. I want to say that is my biggest thing, is buy books and study the imagery and the people who made it. And the
I don't know if you guys heard that on Zoom probably, but there was some
dog.
They just revved their engine like super loud outside my. Sorry.
Oh, we didn't hear
No,
that. Our pets are like making all this noise in the background. So
I hope none of that makes it.
No. If you didn't hear that, then no.
We're good.
We're good. Sweet. I just saw your reaction to it. I was like, whoa, what's happening?
I was like, oh God, so unnecessary. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you're good. So yeah, books.
Books are dope.
Tattooing books. Art history books. Like we have a lot of books. We have a good book collection going on.
Yeah.
And then imagery. I also work in like neo-traditional style. And honestly, a lot of the stuff I'm liking and wanting to do is just based off of things in nature, like animals and plants. Inspiration from places that we've been physically to visit, like the imagery of a certain bird that we saw at a place like when we were in Montana, seeing different animals. I want to do more of that kind of work, neo-traditional with a little bit of, I don't know, I guess the shading's not so flat, a little bit more realism shading in it. I'm looking to push that as well. Looking to also push the framing of my pieces and make them a little bit more abstract and always flowing with the body. So yeah, it's a loaded,
Oh, definitely. I mean, I feel you. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
That's why I like the custom builds of meeting people, because and kind of tackling their work. A lot of their ideas are not contained within one style. Sometimes it's really cool to take their idea and see how many styles you can kind of visually put together into something new and creative that doesn't exist on Pinterest,
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
That's
cool.
For me what I'm basically trying to achieve is just a style that's unique to me, and I've been working on that for years, and I have clients that will come up to me and be like, dude, so and so saw me on the street and recognized that you did my work, and I don't know who they are, and I'm like, that's awesome, that's really huge, and that means a lot, but I'm still always trying to push that style because it's not on skin and on paper, it's not quite where I envision it in my head yet. So I'm still trying to push that. But yeah, looking through things in nature, looking through tattoo books, other artists online. I definitely am exposed to Instagram like everybody is, and I see all the amazing work that's being put out. But I also want to encourage people to go to conventions and go to the tattoo contests that are being put on, and just stick around to the end of the day when people are finishing up with a 2 or 3 day long tattoo, and look at the work that's out there, because it's mind blowing how talented artists are now. So
Evan Olin and Andy Large are doing Tattoo Dudes now. Have you guys known about this?
No.
It's their new YouTube channel, and so they've been doing a lot of collaborations, like their studio, and this one, I guess, I think it was best tattoo or best in show for a 3-day straight leg piece that they did in collaboration with, I think, 3 of their artists. It might have even been 4 of their artists. It's dope, dude.
That's incredible.
It's a Rhode Island tattoo studio, Powerline.
Okay.
Fucking dope. And they're fun guys. I'm sorry to, interrupt you with that plug, but they've Evan's been friends. He worked at Tattooed Heart back when I started, and we actually went to the same high school together. He was a year behind me.
Wow, that's crazy.
I know. So we've been friends ever since, and I've just watched him explode, and his shop's so cool. Him and his wife Kara are a power couple. She's not a tattoo artist, but as far as a team and an illustration that couples can work in this industry and not dissolve,
Yeah.
I've definitely seen his work. It's incredible. But I'll have to check out his studio
Tattoo Dudes
collab and Tattoo Dudes. Yeah.
It looks really fun. They're kind of cheesy, which is what they kind of push. It's really awesome.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that for sure.
Yeah, but you're right. Definitely do that, because their work is so phenomenal, and it's ahead of its time, and it's so fun because it's all these people together collaborating and pushing the boundaries and really having fun, and it doesn't have to be competitive like that,
Right.
I love 4 people did the piece. You all won best in show. That's fucking dope.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah, in that case, you just split up the trophy into 4 pieces,
Yeah, I want, and you guys' situation, I mean, you guys have such multiple array of talents within the styles that you all do. You guys coming together, and combining your talents. You could approach something like that and do it all together, and the trophy just comes back to your shop. You're like, look what we did,
right?
So, look at this creation. I would love that. And
people have asked us to do collabs, and I'm like, I don't know what I would do.
Jess was definitely not. When people ask Jess to collab, or Jess and I to collab together, Jess gets nervous and is like, I just don't have the vision for that yet.
I have major imposter syndrome when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah. We'll get there eventually. We'll make it happen.
Right away, I just see his love of nature and more natural, free floating, kind of wild, combining with your structure. And kind of composing something like that. And with Kristen there, she's good at teaching art. You guys could do those collaborative art days together and
That'd be
like really
sweet.
kind of play with it.
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
great
I mean,
idea.
I'm the idea person. I'm always like, this is what you could do.
I need an idea. Hit up Amy. She's got you. She's got the plug.
Dude, I'm stoked about all of it. It just makes me so freaking happy.
Yeah.
Jess, are you in the same vein? Is that who are your
Yeah.
peeps?
I mean, I'm definitely very inspired by nature too, especially like patterns or fractals in nature. Like earlier today, we went to this conservatory and there's so many amazing plants in there. And like we were looking at the stem of this one plant and it had like these like eyeball looking patterns all along the stem. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool. So I took a picture of that. I'll probably use it in something later on. But definitely like repeating patterns and then a lot of like textiles. So like Indian, Spanish or Mexican, all these other different textiles and like architecture and things that you would find in places all over the world, honestly.
I mean,
I'm really, really inspired by that stuff.
You did mention Laura Jade, and I will say that those hit all the notes of what she talks about, her early inspirations. And
she's incredible. She's been one of my biggest inspirations from the beginning. I actually just bought all 4 of the first magazines that she's put out. And I love her work and I love Savannah Colleen too. I've been tattooed by Savannah Colleen a couple of times and she's just freaking incredible overall. Very, very inspired by them. And I love that kind of stuff. All the ornate and flowing type stuff and repeating patterns.
I'm gonna have to get on it now. I didn't buy the All in Jar magazine yet.
They're awesome.
Yeah,
they're incredible.
So
they
great.
look incredible.
Yeah.
If you need inspiration, I feel like Jeff Gogwe and Laura Jade and what they're doing. Every time I read or watch a video from those two, I'm just like blown away and re-inspired and like, oh yeah, just need a little reminder of like
they've just put their soul into everything, and it's just amazing to see.
Those magazines, they're incredible. It's a journal, right? They come up with magazines.
Yeah, and I don't know, like the one thing I really liked about Jeff's seminars is that you kind of only needed one, and then it kind of gave you everything you needed to soulfully approach your own way. Because it wasn't about the technical aspects, it was about the passion and about the, that creative drive that gets you psyched and into it.
Yeah.
And that was something that I think that they both came heavy with.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Jeff Gogwe for sure. I think I was like 4 or 5 years into tattooing, and when I saw the Tattoo As I See It, the video he put out, and what was the other one about his back piece? I forget what it was called. Those were so incredible and just like inspiring me early on. Like, okay, these people are doing this full-time, traveling, making large scale body art. Like I can do it too if I can, harness this, the same kind of passion and that. So name drop, whatever. Like there's the plug. That's a huge inspiration of mine for sure.
I want him on the show. I'm gonna humble myself one day and get him on the show.
You should.
I love Jeff.
You should definitely get him on. We'll be listening.
Oh man, I mean, who knows? But that was a way to get him to listen. But like, he definitely has. I mean, this is a mutual inspiration. I'm glad that him and Laura have come up because Laura too was an inspiration on a multifaceted level for me. I witnessed her first seminar at Paradise. And that was really dope. And she did such a good job. And it kind of like grounded me about just public speaking and seeing her do that. And she nailed it. And it was just really
awesome.
Cool. So she's been a multi-tier inspiration for me. And I mean, I see it all in you guys, just so you know.
Well, thank you. That means a lot. And the public speaking thing is really still tough for me. I mean, like learning how to put everything into words in a way that is going to be, absorbed by people. And, it's really hard for me to do that. And to see them do it so well, I'm like, all right, I need to take a seminar on seminars and just take notes. And I'm in the process of writing one on composition right now that I'm just going to offer to local artists in our area and our studio first kind of thing and work my way up to eventually maybe offering it or public speaking and teaching it. But that's something I'm passionate about is, composition and tattooing and how to develop a really nice dynamic large scale tattoo.
That's
So
fantastic. No, I
eventually
love
we'll
that.
get there.
Oh yeah, the more you do it, the more, I mean, you'll just learn. I do heavily recommend recording yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
will
if
do
you
that.
do that, but yeah, and if Jess can party up with you, a good thing to do is have a timer, have an counter, or somebody who can catch your ticks that you
Yeah.
have, like if you say like a lot or things like that they can count
Sure.
those things and kind of make you aware of them. I like run on sentences. I'm like and.
Huge, yeah. That's probably me. All the above, probably.
Well, and I also I have a smacking of my lips thing that I've noticed as I've had yeah, it's dude, it's
Funny.
interesting. You catch these weird ticks about yourself. I don't know. You
Yeah,
just
just
get better
observing
about it.
yourself. Yeah, and then eventually you're like, okay, I can get rid of these. These are not necessary, kind of
Yeah.
thing. That's cool. Definitely, I'm gonna
Mhm. Well,
Yeah.
in
that's good because
preparation.
what you just said, it kind of led into the last question of what's next. So you're developing a seminar that's about composition. That's great. Do you have an idea of when it will be launched or where you're going to
Um,
launch it?
I don't know if I'm gonna launch it yet. I don't have plans for that as of yet. I don't know how I want to launch
Okay,
it. Initially, I was talking about maybe like an ebook style kind of thing,
nice.
or videos. But I think I need to teach it hands on first to my friends and artists around me who are interested in it, and see how I can refine it for something like that, like an ebook. So first thing, kind of teach it, get all my thoughts out there organized, and see what the feedback is before I kind of commit it to something that's available for sale or online.
I love it. I was messing around with InDesign on Adobe and I was like, oh my God, I can make ebooks on there. This is dope. It was like a whole nother world. I'm like, hold it together, Amy. You have a seminar to put together. You can't go into ebook land yet. Like,
Right.
Yeah, one thing at a
focus.
time.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great. I
Yeah.
love that. I do both because if you from what I understand, it's a good lead generator. So if you are able to offer people a free thing,
Mhm.
the ebook being a free thing, kind of scale it so that it's a nice teaser, and
Mhm.
then you can then move into the charging for it. But if you make like
Sure.
a solid ebook that's a nice like hook, you give somebody something like that, get them on a mailing list or something, and
Right.
then
Yep.
you can push it from
Excellent.
there. So, yeah, that's a
For
good way
sure.
to
Yeah,
do it.
that's definitely a great way to go about doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. We've
Yeah.
talked about this kind of stuff a little bit.
Yeah, I like that note though. That's definitely good.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and it's nice too because um I don't know, like it's just accomplishing little things as you go,
Yeah.
and it does put you very mentally into how to expand upon it as you. I've
Yeah.
I've dealt with a lot of business coaches, and a lot of them are like created as you're like launching it. Like they're like, oh no, I
Yep.
didn't even have it organized when I sold it. Like I was just
Yeah.
like, oh
Yeah.
shit, I better make
Yep.
it.
Put it out there, get your feedback, make it
Yeah.
better next time
Sure.
around.
Yeah. Just dive in sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the
So
best way, right?
Oh, you
yeah.
can never wait for it to be like completely perfect either, because
No.
then it's never gonna happen, you know?
Very true.
So
Yeah,
you
and
just got
doing those
you gotta
small
do it.
little ebooks that are kind of
Yeah.
nice things like that. It's not, we tend to overthink things. So that's part of the
Yes.
public speaking dilemma is that, we know what we want to deliver, but they don't have a freaking clue. So
Yeah.
we're
Yep.
always like going, "Oh my God, I didn't talk about this," and nobody knew.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
Fair enough.
You
Yeah.
rid yourself of the thing that you might have missed out because they had no idea. They're probably like, "Oh my God, it was amazing." So that's part
Right.
of the psychological hurdle of it.
For
Yeah,
sure. Yeah. Good
Yeah.
note.
Yeah, just
definitely.
just to give you guys and the audience when they're listening, if they want to step into that space. I mean, these are just the things that I've done along with the reason why I said the counter and stuff is
Yeah.
that's what I did in Toastmasters. So if you ever find a local faction of Toastmasters, it's designed around leadership and communication and public speaking. So it's a
Okay.
really nice a nice drill. And
Awesome.
yeah. Plus you get
Definitely
some
take that into consideration and use that for sure when we're writing.
yeah. Well, and you diversify your crowd too, because we kind of get stuck in our worlds with tattooing quite a bit, and we're all like, I know Rico was jazzed to go to the Paradise Convention because there was a couple of tattoo artists that like, oh man, it's just all this fucking tattoo art shit. Like they were excited to talk to him about like construction and and fishing and hunting.
Right?
Like it's awesome.
I love that. Yeah, expose yourself to a lot of different people. And our world is it's like the tattoo world is pretty big as far as artists and stuff, but then there's also a whole another group of people that you're not really reaching maybe. So diversifying is huge, right?
Well, even if they're not like interested in getting a tattoo, they are typically interested because there's enough like I don't know, mystique about it that they don't really know, and most people don't want to judge it from any place that's like, I don't know, religious or orthodox, unless they really are that, they're just like, I don't know. I don't think I would want anything, but I want to talk about it.
I'm curious about it. I want to know more. Let's talk.
Yeah. People are always curious about that. Like one time I shared a video of me like making a stencil, and I had so many people that were like, oh my God, I had no idea that that's how you did it. They were like mind blown, so just like showing people the process here and there is great.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And for Mesmer, is there anything that you guys collectively are doing up that's are you traveling together? Is there anything that you want to shout out there?
Yeah, we definitely have wanted to do more like conventions and stuff together. So this year coming up, we're planning a few as a whole shop. And then Kevin and I are also going to go off and do like some other guest spots and stuff because we just really love traveling. But we're definitely doing some conventions as a shop. We do like monthly meetings as a shop, and plan like little events here and there, like drink and draw nights where we invite other local tattooers to come and like hang out, and like everybody brings a sketchbook and we all just kind of like sit down and draw and hang out and connect. And then other than that, I forgot what else I was going to bring up.
We have
as a shop.
Yeah, the monthly meetings and whatnot. And then we're planning on, I think we're going to plan on Colorado possibly for their convention this year. And where else do we want to go? Oh man, there's too many. But
there really is.
We haven't made a like actual solid set plan yet. We're like, we have all these places we want to go to. Let's pick a couple of them. And then we're like, let's vacation to these places. And then we're like, but wait, we could work a day while we're there. Like, we're like, oh God.
Every time.
Yeah. So there's that. But,
I kind of love it. Like, and at least, the wonderful thing about you guys is that, eventually Rico really would love to like own a shop together. He doesn't have any interest in tattooing, but he loves tattoo artists and stuff like that. So I'd love to get a space for us where, as a unit, we're doing it together, because then the travel will be a lot easier. But at least as a couple, you can do that together, and you have that similar mindset about it. Whereas like for him at times, he's like, can we just go somewhere to like not work?
I mean, we have that same conversation too. Like we're going to Oahu in February, and we're like, we might as well like do a guest spot for a day and like make some money and tattoo somebody while we're there. Like, why not? And then we're like, no, let's just vacation. Let's not work. And then we're like, no, let's definitely plan a day.
Oh my God, it's so back and forth with that one. It's like, but we have clients
everywhere we go though.
And it's like there's so much that happens through that space of tattooing that's just awesome. I mean I just fucking love what we do. Like I really do. I mean, clearly.
And I love tattooing when we travel too, especially at the beginning of a trip, because whoever you end up tattooing, you get to connect with them, and then they're like, hey, you should go and do this, or like, let's get together and do this thing. And
they give you all the local knowledge drops about food.
It's really awesome.
It's great.
You make a new friend.
Yep. No, exactly. That's what happened to me the last time when I went to Omaha. They were all like, why did you want to come to Omaha? I'm like, why not? And I met a girl and we went out to a steakhouse. She's like, this is the steakhouse. And we all went out together. It was dope. I tattooed her. Now we send memes to each other.
Right?
Like,
it's amazing.
A friend in Omaha. Like, it's fucking awesome. Like,
I'm gonna wish her a happy birthday because I know her birthday. Like,
Yeah,
that's super dope.
Yeah.
It's like meaningful connections like that make it like traveling awesome.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah. If you have any conventions that you want to do and they're around the same time, let us know. We can booth next to each other and set up some.
Totally, man. Like, I'm all about that. Same. If yeah, I mean, I don't know if you ever want to do the Baltimore tattoo convention, but I would love to like just have Legion, like, all of us like together.
Yeah.
Like, I know you can request like put me next to
booth so and so. Yeah.
Right.
I did Baltimore a long time ago. It's been a while, but I'd be happy to do it again. I know it's a pretty big show, right? Like, I mean, it's grown.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of stupid big, but
well, we did Philly last year, and that was like, I think it was huge. I think when I was reading the booth like list, there were 987 booths last year.
God bless you. I still haven't had the gumption yet. Jason Leeser asked me if I might want to do it with him, and I was like,
do it.
You should.
You should.
Also, Jason is rad. He's such a fucking cool human.
I feel like you guys would have a lot of fun in Philly.
Yeah.
He is rad. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it this year coming up, but I am going to do it. I was just like, it's a little too soon for me to like get there.
Feeling last minute at this point.
Yeah. If I commit to it a year in advance, then I will do it. I need to do it. And I've heard great, like once you commit to it, it's just one of those things. But that tattoo convention is hard to walk through. As just a person going. It's like, wow, this is a lot.
This is a lot. Yeah.
Huge.
For sure. I was the same way. Like, we all try to make time to leave our booths to go, chat with artists and buy prints and artwork. And oh my God, there's so much. It was just like, all right, in small doses is the way to do it.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, how best, because the natives are getting restless.
These guys.
The babies are like, oh my God, what are you guys doing?
They're like, it's dinner time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Who are you even talking to? I don't smell anything.
Right.
What's the best ways for people to get in contact for you guys to work with you? Is there like a main shop page, or how best to contact you guys to work with you?
So we have our website. It's mesmertattoo.com, MESMER. That all of our information is on there for all artists. So whether people want to get tattooed by us, or if people want to contact us to line up a guest spot at our studio, people can also do that on there. We would love to have more guest artists coming through. We're trying to make some changes to our shop to accommodate that better. But yeah, everything is through our shop website, and then other than that, Instagram is a really great place. And if people go to Mesmer Tattoo on Instagram, they'll find all of our artist pages from that.
Fantastic. Wonderful. Well, and I'll be definitely tagging both of you in the announcement for your tattoo or your diary entry. What do I do here? What do I do?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
It's been a long day.
Long work.
A little punch drunk. Well, is there any closing notes, like to wrap all of this up? What are some things to add, or things that you might want to tell the next generation of tattoo artists, or the people out there that might be listening that are wondering, what are, some closing thoughts?
Yeah.
Yes, you want to go first?
I would say for anybody who wants to get into the tattoo world and learn how to tattoo, somebody who's looking for an apprenticeship, one of the biggest things that I think is so important is being teachable. There's a really big difference between wanting to learn and being a teachable student. So making sure you're able to be taught and willing to accept the information that you're given and put it into practice. And just having that desire and drive to be willing to learn and grow. That's one of the most important things that I can impart on anybody. And other than that, save up a lot of money and work your job for now and draw every single day, and make sure you work on making some connections on your free time.
Yeah, that's huge. That's great. And to add to that, I would just say, like Jess said, drawing every day, even when you don't want to, because if you want to become a tattoo artist, that is going to be your job
Yeah.
is to draw and then to create an even better drawing on people's skin every day. So draw every day, practice every day, read books on tattooing, become immersed in it, be open. And if you do land an apprenticeship, make sure it's with a studio that is producing really good work and is full of good people who are willing to teach you. You want to be reciprocative relationship. Like you want to be able to contribute to the whole as well as learn from them. And I think being open is the biggest thing. Like you have to have an open mind, an inquisitive mind, and honestly, being patient is huge. And also one thing that I didn't do enough that I wish I would have done more of as an apprentice is to have the confidence to ask more questions. Ask when you don't understand something, ask, how can this be broken down? Like, I need to understand this. I think if I did that early on, like if I had done it earlier on in my apprenticeship, it would have probably helped me out a lot more. So be confident enough to ask questions, and ask questions to everybody around you, you know, like get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I mean, at the very least, you'll know if you're in a good place or not, because you know, if you get you're not ready for that yet, settle down.
Yeah.
Or like if you're like terrified to ask questions, it might not be a good, you know, like if you get slammed for asking questions, that might not be a good environment
like you're
for
literally
learning.
there to learn. So if people aren't gonna be willing to teach you, it's not the right place. If they're
withholding information because of ego or anything like that, it's probably not the right place, you know. But
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, apprenticeships have changed a lot since the old days, you know. Like I was at the, you know, early 2000s for my apprenticeship, and you know, I had some hazing and some of that stuff, but it's now more about, you know, teaching, and some of that stuff is necessary. I'm glad I went through it, obviously, but I think now it's more art focused, and like we're just trying to really be better at what we do, and
make good tattooers.
Yeah, totally. And you know, like you said, the people aspect of it is more of a concern at this point. And I do think that's very valuable. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm really glad that you have made this platform for people like us to come on here and talk about it, and talk about our journeys and stuff. It's really inspiring what you're doing, I think.
Oh, thank you.
I hope more people get to hear it.
Well, just to give a little, you know, foresight about it, you know, we're all going to keep growing and becoming better and more. And I do think some of the times that we need in our lives in order to take that next step is to go back. So I'd love for you guys and anybody who submitted a diary entry to the show to be able to touch back with who they were at a certain point. And that's why I recommend recording yourself, because sometimes you need to be reminded of that initial, you know, start and those things that you felt in the beginning, because they can get lost along the way. And you know, it's important. Plus, you guys are a couple. You might have kids from here and a whole bunch of stuff. Like this is a time of.
I know we've literally talked about that. We're like, that's probably the next obstacle. Like a few years down is like, how do we navigate having children, both being tattooers? Like, I don't know how people have kids in general, to be honest.
How do people do that?
Yeah, but this is something that, you know, your kids, when they're ready, can listen to and be like, wow, you know, that's my mom and dad. Like before I was there. That's really cool. And I just love that kind of ability to leave these kind of little timestamps behind so that you can touch back and kind of be re-inspired and reconnect with the you know, the source and that grounding. It's been really beneficial for me. So I'm glad it's working for others.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for doing that for us. You're awesome. It was such a pleasure to meet you. I'm so stoked that we got to do this finally.
Yeah. Definitely. When I end this, it's gonna go black, and then I'm gonna, you know, it's real awkward. So just like, like it just goes. It's like bye.
So just exit.
Yeah, like when I wear my hats, I'm just like I wore a hat because I didn't want to do my hair today. That's what's gonna happen here. We're gonna say goodbye, and then it's gonna be over. So I'm gonna touch base with you guys after this and give you some follow-up materials. But I can't thank you enough. You guys are really dope, and I'm going to visit.
Yes, we would love that. We really look forward to it.
Yeah, the feeling is mutual. Thank you so much.
Yep. Jess, Kevin, have a great rest of your evening. You've been a pleasure.
You too.
You
It's
too,
been
Amy.
a
Thank
pleasure
you.
talking.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, there you have it, everybody. That's Jess and Kevin. They're just sublime. And when I first met them, I mean, the whole time they were just radiating smiles and positivity. And no matter what's ahead for them, I have no doubt it's going to be great. I have no doubt that they are going to keep cultivating wonderful things because, as far as I can tell, they have the best attitude you can have. Whether it be children or an expansion of Mesmer, anything, I think they're going to be all right. So do yourselves a favor. Definitely go and follow each of them, including Mesmer Tattoo of Rochester, New York, on IG or any social space that you can if you'd like to work with them. There are several different ways to go about that. But, check out their website. I know that Jess is really big about posting a lot of great information for you to know exactly how you can work with them at their studio. So invest. Just so much talent around this group of people. So definitely do yourselves that favor. Thank you always, diary listeners. This has been an amazing time. I have so much gratitude for all of you, your time and attention. My hope is that this inspires you, and I want you to know that you guys inspire and hold me up. So I thank you. Many blessings. Have a great week.
Thanks for listening. You can find the Apprenticeship Diaries on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Our IG is the_apprenticeship_diary. If you would like to offer constructive criticism or an interview, drop us an email at theapprenticeshipdiaries@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from our listeners.